Beautiful. There you go. Hello, everybody. We apologize for the delay this evening. We are having technical difficulties here on OneMore with Danny Coleman. I am Danny Coleman. For now, you might only hear the audio portion of the program. If the video is restored, we will gladly throw our faces up there. And it's probably good that it's only audio right now because I am naked here in the studio. And
so am I.
Lisa and I are naked.
It's a naked
show. Nash is getting naked as we speak. The new guy, Tom, we're all getting naked, so hurry up.
Funniest thing I've ever heard because we're all naked.
Well, welcome to One More with Danny Coleman. I am Danny Coleman. We are coming to you live from Monmouth Music here in Red Bank, New Jersey. Mario DiBartolo. Now, Mario's naked. He just popped in with pizza.
I can't get this visual out of my head now. I'm just having a hard time with this one.
When there's no video, when there's no visual on YouTube, you can say anything you want.
Oh, my God.
Mario DiBartolo has graciously opened up his store for us here, 30 Monmouth Street in Red Bank, New Jersey, home of Monmouth Music and Carousel Arts Productions. One More with Danny Coleman. We are also sponsored by the Downtown All-Stars of Red Bank, right here in Red Bank, as well as Antoinette's Boulangerie. And what did you say outside about Boulangerie?
These are like incredible pastries and like really delicious desserts, and there's something, it's like an oxymoron about having a lingerie store have anything to do with pastries because, well, you can't eat too many of them and then fit into your lingerie. Or perhaps if you're naked, we don't have to have the lingerie. We can look at the lingerie and we can eat the Danish.
Unless you look at the person in lingerie and say, "Ooh, you look good enough to eat."
You know, oh my, this is true. Is this a family show?
You look delicious, my dear.
You look delicious.
See, you go that route.
Let me tell you something. I would put on any lingerie and eat as much pastry, and I don't really care because it looks so delicious.
Beautiful stuff.
It is special.
Antoinette's Boulangerie, our Antoinette Boulangerie, our pastry sponsor here on One More with Danny Coleman, and that's it. Just those three. We have three sponsors. You start talking about lingerie, I got all shook up. My guest this evening, I said it in my Facebook Live on my Facebook page. I love this lady. She's been good to me for years now, and I love working with her. I love talking with her, and she's by far one of the most interesting guests I've ever had the pleasure to sit down with. Lisa Sherman.
Oh, thank you, Danny.
Lisa.
You're just saying that because I'm naked.
Well, yeah. Actually, if you were naked, I'd be speechless, I think. But
I'd be without speech. It's always a pleasure being on your show. And we do have fun. We always have lots of laughs. I've already started laughing, and we're not even 5 minutes in yet, right?
And that's good.
And we have so much we can talk about.
We do. You've got a lot happening, which you were, and I have to tell everybody, I screwed up royally. Lisa was supposed to be on next month, and I was dealing with another Lisa and flip-flopped the dates. But Lisa Sherman was kind enough to come in this evening.
I flip-flopped my dates tonight. It was really pretty funny, everybody. I knew that Danny and I had made a decision about when to come in and have this interview, and that was fine. And then I saw this really nice post from a lovely lady,
from Karen.
Right, last night. It said something about looking so forward for your interview tomorrow, and I'm like, what interview? Really? Oh, that's just a mistake. And so I wrote back to her and I said, no. It's next month. No worries. Look forward to,
And
look
I
forward to
saw
the day.
that.
And then Daddy saw that. But then, no, it gets better. So now I'm in the gym today, and I see my dear friend Cal Schwartz. Love Cal. And I see him every Monday now at the Workout World. And I give him a hug, and he goes, "I'm looking so forward to listening to your interview." I said, "No, no, 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 no. It's all mixed up." I corrected it. It's next month. And then by the time I got home, I get this SOS text from Danny, and he's like, "Please, please
Help.
work it out. Do whatever you got to do." You know what, Danny? I would do just about anything. So I'm naked in your. So
That's
what can I
beautiful.
say?
That's right.
I will do anything for you, and I'm eating all the pastry, and that's it.
And that's why.
And that's why we're here
That's
together.
why we have such a good relationship.
That's why we have such a good rapport. We'll each do everything we can for each
Right?
other.
So you've got a lot of big things happening, though.
Yeah, there is a lot, and I'm very blessed to say that. In fact, I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen who are listening, I was telling Danny a story before we got on the air about life can take you on some very interesting journeys, And this past summer, for the first time ever in my life, I had an injury on a gig, and it put me on crutches in a big cast for like 4 months. And this summer was I certainly won't say a quiet summer. It was a more challenging summer because everything I had to do took a little bit more time because it was also my driving foot. So I had to be driven everywhere. The gigs that I did, people were really kind. They had these really cool chairs up on stage. They dressed them up, and stools and canes and all this stuff. And so they'd help me hobble up on stage. And you know what? It had nothing to do with the performance value. It was just, sometimes things happen. So this summer I had a little bit extra time on my downtime because I did have to rest a little bit more than usual. And I had a lot of creative time where I actually was forced to put some ideas together. Hence, this brings us to what you just said to me, how busy things are right now. I would say about a year ago, I put together this idea called Broadway and Beyond. And yes, my background, growing up, I was a stage girl, 11 years on Broadway and off Broadway and touring and all that. I did all that stuff. And as life goes on, you again take different journeys and you venture out on different types of musical accomplishments. And I can pretty much say I can sing just about everything from rock to very strong R&B, classic rock. I love country music, but I'm more of I'd say R&B type of individual. Although I do enjoy all music and Great American Songbook standards, blah, 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 all that stuff. And I wanted to kind of go back to my roots. And so I put the show together. Now, this wasn't the, give my regard to Broadway. It wasn't that. I mean, we love you, Ethel. Okay, but nah, it ain't happening. But what I wanted to do is get some songs from, the classic Broadway shows, but kind of give my own little twist. Rearrange some of the incredible, accomplished scores. So I hired 2 musical directors for this show, not just one. One of them, his name is Bob Himmelberger, who wrote the charts. An incredible pianist. He's brilliant. And he put together and rearranged all the arrangements. Everything from Phantom, Les Mis, like really going back to the classics, West Side Story, which was my first professional show. And then I had Ralph Notaro, who, he's very well known around here. And Ralph pretty much directed the band. And so having those 2 brains together, plus the rest of the cast, and I'll say everyone's name, some great individuals. The Broadway part speaks for itself. The Beyond are movie themes. So we had everything from Bond to Arthur to Superman to Footloose to just all kinds of different movies. And so Fame, yes, of course, Fame. And a lot of these shows had movies and cinema. So you had both worlds, there's the Broadway and beyond. So as the show went on, it was really kind of cool because people were very familiarized by these songs. Aquarius, we did Aquarius, from
Fifth Dimension.
Yes, the Fifth Dimension did that. Right. And so it was a lot of fun. Long story short,
It's from Hair, wasn't it?
it was from Hair. Thank you. I was trying to think of
That was
that, and
the
it's
guy
like
that
I lost
has
my mind.
very little came up with that.
It's all right. You know what? It's you know what, Danny?
I live in a dream world. That's
It's all good, baby. It's all good. We still love you very much. So we ended up selling out. We sold out. We had 2 private performances, and those sold out. We were really hoping that our first public appearance, which was at McLuhan Supper Club on Friday night, Black Friday, which is a tough day to sell. It really is. And it sold out like 10 days ago. And we got the call that it was
beautiful.
it. And I was like, yeah, baby, all right. So it was just a very, very exciting night. And of course, oh my God, Frankie Previtt was in the show. So we had the whole Dirty Dancing thing going on, which people went nuts. They want to hear the songs. Dirty Dancing now is like, it's just never, ever going away. Right. But now that it has its Broadway run and its tour running, it just played at the State Theater
in New Brunswick.
In New Brunswick. I think it was 5-day run, sold out every single show. So, and Frankie's from New Brunswick, so it was so cool to have him up on stage and singing these songs. The place went crazy. They went crazy. It's just an endless phenomena, the music from that show. So we had all that happening and more. And
so we could actually tell people, because we're lacking the video tonight. If you're just tuning in, we're having some video difficulties, but you are hearing the audio of One More with Danny Coleman. My guest is Lisa Sherman. We could actually tell people that Frankie's Oscar is sitting right here.
Oh, the Oscar and the Golden Globe.
And the Golden
But
Globe
here's the
Award.
thing, you can't see it.
Yeah, so you have to take our
I'm
word
so
for it.
sorry. You'll have to take our word for it.
God, I hope that video doesn't come back, because they think
that's
we're naked with
hilarious.
the Oscar and the Golden
We
Globe.
are naked with the Oscar, eating the pastry, and we're loving that. Now, here's the good news. Broadway and Beyond, we are going to be doing it again. We're moving from different theaters and different places and doing the show. But on April 22nd at the Spring Lake Community Theater, great theater. If you've never been there, you've never seen it, awesome house, we will be there. It's also a Sammy Boyd and Frankie Previtt production. Okay. So we have that as the promotions, and it's just, we have a lot of really good people that are in the band. We had Kristen Cochran, she plays the Kirk and the Jerks, and lots of different people.
You were telling me that you
Benny Graham, oh my God.
Lou Graham of Foreigner's brother, right?
Yeah, he is Lou Graham of Foreigner's brother. Benny Graham,
He's your drummer.
great drummer, yeah. As I said, Ralph Notaro was on guitar, Bob Himmelberger on keys. We had John Mulrennan also on keys and synth and side. Yeah.
I haven't seen John.
He's been around.
God, it's got to be 2 years.
He's kicking it. He did a great job. We had John Martin on winds and brass. We had
on bass. You had
on bass. We had John Miko, and it was a really cool thing because a lot of when I start casting my shows, I try to reach out to different people. Although I think performers tend to stick with performers that they know for obvious reasons. But I also like to go out of the box and use different people and utilize different talents and get different flavors. And they project different energies on stage. And you learn from everybody. If you do the same thing all the time, you know what you get? The same thing.
All the
Yeah.
time.
And so I reached out to John Miko. And I met John Miko when I was, when I first heard... I was at a Mario Casella, and the Gamblers, Slim Chance, the Gamblers, love those guys, and I met John Miko there, and he just had a really nice aura about him. He's like got the long hair, he's Mr. Hippie, but he's got like this really cool groove going, and we became friends, and I saw him with a few other bands, Bob Dare. I would love to work together with you. Don't be surprised if I give you a call. Well, lo and behold, while I was trying to heal this summer with my broken bones, I reached out to these people and I said, this is my idea. Are you interested? And, John came back. He's like, I've never done Broadway type of work. And I said, well, then you really have nothing to go by. If you've never done it, why not try it? And he did. And hearing him say the confidence it gave him, that it challenged him. It was great to come out of that comfort zone, to have to actually, write charts and learn music and really have to listen and try to add his specialty, his flavor, his individuality. And between him and the rest of the band, it was just awesome. The sound was incredible. We had 6 standing ovations. 6 people were getting out of their seats. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, it was a very exciting night.
I've never been to a production of yours
What?
where there were not at least 2 or 3 standing ovations.
Oh, that's cool.
During and after the program.
That's nice.
I mean, people who are listening, people should know that your career isn't just that of Broadway.
No.
You've been what, a rockette? You've been
Yeah. I started
a model. You've had your own television show in New Zealand.
Yes, I did.
You
remember.
Oh God,
Thanks,
yeah.
Danny.
I have it tattooed on me.
And because we're naked, you can see it. That's right. God forbid they do get the visual back. How are we going to explain this?
We're quick.
Oh my God!
They'll put up that old. They'll put up.
I can't. I just can't.
They'll put the Yule log up there or something while we get dressed.
I can't. I just can't. Oh my God, Daddy. But yes, sweetheart, it's true. I'm very blessed. I've had a very interesting life. I have, and with all good things, there have also been challenging things. But speaking of the good things, I mean, I've always been a singer and a dancer. That was my thing, and I went to I had a scholarship in high school. I did all the shows and summer theater and all that stuff, and I had a scholarship to be a dance major at Adelphi University for college. And when I went to college, I really didn't like it. I really, really, really did not like it. I wanted musical theater, and at Adelphi at that time was really strict dance technique, which is very important. You've got to have the foundation. I have no qualms about that, and I have no regrets about that. Made me a much stronger performer. But I was in Long Island. I wanted to be in New York, And so I started skipping college, skipping classes. I mean, who doesn't? But I did. And I started going to auditions. And I would go to these auditions. And at that time, the unions were different. The situations were different. The foundation was different of what was necessary to go to these auditions. They were pretty much open calls. And I went to this open call at Radio City Music Hall, which had just reopened. It was closed for a long time, and then they reopened it, and we're talking like, don't be doing the math, anybody listening on the air, because this is gonna you're gonna figure out some numbers here. But let's just say it was in the late 70s that I started, going to these auditions, and Radio City had just reopened. And they were doing this show. I think it was called New York Summer. And Tom Baylor and Bob Yanni were the producers. Now, Tom Baylor, here's a great story. Tom Baylor was Quincy Jones's right-hand man. He did the score for Color Purple. He wrote the song We Are the World. He has done so many exquisite songs and huge productions. And he was, Quincy Jones's right-hand man. And I remember it was so long ago. He and I had this little thing going on for a while, It happens. And I was a young kid. And Tom used to fly me back and forth and stay in California at Quincy Jones's house, who at that time, he was married to Julie Lipton. Gorgeous girl. Right. Oh, my God. Stupid, beautiful. Remember her from the Mod Squad?
Yeah.
And there she is, with Patty Austin, Rod Temperton, George Benson. I mean, I'm on the background of Give Me the Night on the record with George Benson, Patty Austin, and Rod Temperton. My name is not on it because I was not supposed to be there. But Tom, and I had no union affiliations at that time.
Right.
But Tom Baylor brought me into the studio. He's like, oh, we're going to try these songs, try these vocals. I'm like, give me the night, and I'm doing these backgrounds, not realizing I'm with these stars. I mean, to me, I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. You know, it's like 20, maybe. Stop doing the math, everybody. Who knows? Maybe I was 18. Could have been 19. Stop it. I know you're
12.
doing it.
Stop.
That's it. And so, long story short, Tom Baylor had taken on this production at Radio City Musical. And Bob Yanni was very involved with Disney productions. So we had a very big cast of characters. And I was not trying to be a Rockette. I just auditioned for a show. And I remember the casting call said brown hair, brown eyes, 5'8". Okay, so myself and like a good 2,000-3,000 other women were, at this audition. And I had to sing, I had to dance. It happened really fast. And I got this call back. I had to, skip my classes again the next day. Uh-oh, bad girl. And then I got the show. I got the show. And I was cast as, it was called a New Yorker. And that was someone who would sing and dance in the production end of the show. But at that time, everyone had different jobs at Radio City. Everyone worked with the Rockettes. Everyone played a part as a New Yorker. Everyone just mixed and matched different parts because that's how you did it. And so, yeah, I danced with the Rockettes. It was incredible. I was right there. We used to do the Christmas show, of course. So this time of year, I get these aches in my hamstrings. I just remember kicking my legs an awful lot all the time. Those girls were crazy. They were crazy. And we had so much fun. But anyway, yeah, that's, that was like an experience I'll certainly never forget. But from there, that's when, things really took off. And I started seriously getting into Broadway shows like, Evita, West Side Story, Dancin', Fosse, Little Shop of Horrors, all those different shows, a whole bunch of them. And I preferred to be on the road. Sometimes you would start on the Broadway stage and then have the option to be first company out. I just wanted to get the hell out. I just wanted to be out. Right. So I did. It was fun being on the road because you could be ambiguous, And
I have, let me stop you there for a second.
Sure.
Because they're yelling at me to do a sponsor.
Got it.
And we're going to get that done right now. Keep your eyes open for the next charity compilation CD produced by the Downtown All-Stars of Red Bank. Magic on the Navasink will feature original works by artists such as Colossal Street Jam. They've been guests on Rock on Radio.
There you go.
Dawn Hopkins, DJ Pinelli, John Hathaway. Magic on the Navasink is being produced to benefit the Red Bank Elks Lodge number 233 Veteran Support Programs.
Special place.
All right, so if you purchase that disc, it'll go to a good cause. The Downtown All-Stars' first compilation CD, Bright Lights on Broad Street, was in support of Little Kids Rock, which provides free music instruction and instruments to underserved public school districts across the United States. It's available on the Downtown All-Stars website and from select retailers. Downtown All-Stars of Red Bank LLC is a collective of local musicians and performing artists bound together to raise both funds and awareness for charity. Power of music. Go to Red Bank. More information.
There you go, Danny. You did that so well.
See that? It's amazing what I can do and I don't have to look at the camera.
Yeah, and it's easy when you're not wearing clothes. Mm-hmm. Everything is easier when you're not wearing clothes.
I got choked up. Yes, it is.
I'm never going to live this down. I'm just never going to live it down.
Yes, another humiliating moment in Lisa Sherman's life brought to you by me, Dan Coleman.
Oh, my God, Danny. Jeez Louise.
Again, I want to apologize for the lack of video. We're still working on getting.
We're not flipping anybody out because we're naked.
We're allowed to. We're working on it.
Please don't.
This is one more with Danny
at this point now, I'm letting my turkey gut go and everything. Nobody needs to see this.
Oh God! Moving on. I was at a function one time, and there was an older woman there, probably in her mid to late 60s.
Was she naked?
No, but what she was, she was actually very attractive and in great shape. And I see her, and she's fiddling around, and she's reaching,
With what, Danny?
she's reaching into her. She did one of the tricks where she decides she's going to take her undergarment off without taking her shirt off.
Oh, you go, girl.
Okay, she pulls it out of her sleeve and goes like this and says, "The 18 hours are up."
Latex 18 hours? Now that's a commercial. That's a show.
Right?
That's a show right there. I wish I could have seen that.
That was
I
pretty
definitely
funny.
wish I could have seen
The
that.
strange things that happen with musicians. Can you imagine if we should probably do that, you and I, write a book about all the weird things that we've seen over
There's
the
been a
career
lot.
of a
There's
musician.
there has been a lot. There has been a lot. And this year, I would say, when I was telling you about me falling off the stage, that had never happened before. That was something to watch. That was a musician's like, wow. I would think that's probably a big musician's fear of not being able to, see you lose your footing and you fall.
Right.
And I do remember when I did go off and I did finish the song, I remember my sax player reached down, pulled me up, and someone in the audience had given me back the microphone because it fell when I went over. And you finish the song and something happened, but you have that adrenaline going,
Right.
But somehow we just got onto that about like things happening, some whipping off their bra, falling off stages, microphones go dead. I know Frankie was singing the other night. He was right in the middle of Hungry Eyes, and which happens a lot. The cord came right out the microphone.
Oh.
And he's singing. The audience is like turning their heads and looking up, and they're like trying to tell him, and he's like, "What?" Because he's like so in the moment.
Right.
Oh, stuff happens, But yeah, there's certainly could be a book, that's for sure.
Now we should tell people, we mentioned him earlier, Frankie Previtt.
Uh-huh.
We mentioned the Oscars and the Golden Globe. Frankie, usually he's with you, and he's not this evening, but he is the man who penned Time of Our Lives and Hungry Eyes from Dirty Dancing,
right.
which is why he won those awards.
Yeah,
And,
he was Frankie from Frankie and the Knockouts, and he has quite an amazing history of different groups that he's been with, and he's a brilliant songwriter, lyricist. He's one of those people who has paper all over the house. Always pens next to the bed or sitting wherever he is. He'll think of things. He puts things together. He wrote Time of My Life. I think it was exit 142, 140 on the Garden State Parkway. And, the stories that he tells about just different things that have happened in his life. And here's someone who grew up in a very, very simple family. He was selling cars out of his garage, up until pretty late in his life. Being a musician is tough. I mean, if you're going to go into this business, you really have to go in with a very humble attitude. And yes, I have a show called Decade of Divas. I know what the diva is. But to be in this industry, you really, hopefully, get rid of that diva attitude because it's tough and competitive.
One of the other things you have to learn to deal with is rejection.
Oh yeah. And the thing, rejection's it can be a very humiliating experience, and people deal with rejection in different ways. I will say that being in this industry has taught me different values of dealing with rejection. I've always believed that failure is success denied. That's always been one of my little sayings.
I like that.
Yeah, so do I. And when I used to go to auditions, of course you have a fear. You don't know if you're going to be, everyone wants to be accepted and liked. That's human nature. When someone tells you either you're not good enough, not strong enough, not pretty enough, not tall enough, not right, when you've given 100% and you believe that you are that person, well, you have to walk away and hold yourself up not take it personally. There are a million reasons why that moment didn't happen for you. And, you can either fall apart, or you take that experience and you try again. Some good experiences and examples. And I do this when I have I do a lot of conferences, and I'm a professional conference speaker, if you will. And I talk to a lot of people going into this industry, just like I do in the fitness industry. I'm a convention presenter. But going back to what we were just saying, a lot of people ask, how do you deal with that rejection, and what is it that you go into with? You have to realize when you go to these auditions, there are usually like 5 or 6 or sometimes 8 people at a casting table. Yeah, they're there for that audition per se, but you have to realize that all these casting people and producers and directors and booking agents are also casting other things. So perhaps you're not going to get that show, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to call you for something else. Right. Now, when I auditioned for Wicked, I had a private audition because I'm with Equity and SAG. I went in there, I sang one of the best auditions I ever did. And mind you, only get like maybe 16 bars, which is not very much. So you have to go in there and find the best part of the song that you can sing. And I did. And as soon as I finished, I'm looking at the casting table, and I've been doing this since I was a young girl. You think you get used to it. There was no expression, nothing, zero. I got just butt kiss. And finally, I think they were ordering lunch. They were talking amongst each other, but they weren't talking to me or giving me any constructive criticism. And one guy just like drops his glasses and he looks at me and he goes, "Thank you very much. You're too tall." I'm too tall? Listen, I've heard everything, but I'm too tall. So, you know what? I walked out of there. I said, "Thank you for your constructive criticism." Rap bastard, And I walked down the street, and I had to have a little giggle, because I thought, all right, so maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I'm not right for your show, but you watch how I'm going to sing this song somewhere else. It's okay. And you know what? I did get calls from the casting agents at the table for other shows. So things do happen. Same thing with Dreamgirls. I went for Dreamgirls. I knew I was going in there as an incorrect typecast. I knew that. But because I'm with Equity and SAG, they can't stop you from going to an audition. Right. I went there. I sang. It was incredible. It was an amazing audition. Thank you very much. You're not right for the part. I knew that. But I got calls for other things. So when I deal with rejection, I just try not to take it personally. There's got to be something that you've learned from every audition. It's not always could I have done better. Sometimes it's just timing, But you have to envision yourself to be able to say, I'm not right for this. I'll be right for something else. And you know what I do? When I was growing up, when I used to be so frightened to go into auditions, I would always envision that the people at the casting table were wearing these really tight, one size too small thongs, and that was making them very uncomfortable. So it would make me giggle when I would go into the auditions, because I'd be like, you think I'm uncomfortable? I know what you're going through, Right. And then when I'd leave the audition, if I didn't get the job, I would hope that the thong was really uncomfortable on them, and they'd suffer a little bit. But that was just between me and my sick little mind.
You mean you didn't offer them
the lingerie,
the lingerie
Danish?
Pastries?
I should have.
Lingerie specializes in creating delicate and sophisticated works of art using only the highest quality ingredients.
That's right.
Located right next door here at 32 Monmouth Street in the heart of downtown Red Bank, they're a fully operational bakery with all baking done on premises daily. In addition to the handmade variety of croissants, I just like saying croissants, and Danish, Antoinette's also offers a dizzying array of traditional French pastries, macaroons, cookies, and savory treats. Find us at AntoinetteBoulangerie.com.
And keep now, but then again, there's something about eating pastry when you're naked.
Right.
It just, I don't know what the true recipe is within their minds. Is it a little bit of what they wore? Is it a little bit of how they sounded? Is it personality? You know, it's like making a soup. Add a little bit of this and that and ingredients, and then at the end you have something really special. Sometimes you go into these auditions and they can envision being able to create something that they have envisioned themselves. Sometimes if you go into an audition with themselves. So yes, to answer your question, it's best to go in pretty much yourself. Let them figure it out. Remember, makeup, wigs, outfits, it can turn anybody into whatever they want it to be.
Yeah.
That's your character.
Acting is that's what you are.
Yeah,
You're acting.
it's called
Pretending to be anything but yourself.
So, you know, like growing up doing all these different shows, I mean, now at this time of my life, I'm really enjoying creating shows myself. And the 4 shows now that are running, you know, the other night was Hamilton Theater in June. We're working on the George Street Theater right now.
Oh, wow.
Looking forward to that.
You.
That's a great theater.
Yeah.
Warren Zimmerman was at our show on Friday night. He was just beyond. He just said, "Oh my God!" And because Frankie's, you know, from New Brunswick, he's like, "This is it's a perfect match."
One of the things that I have always been thoroughly impressed by you with is the fact that you always have a knack of surrounding yourself with not only incredibly talented people, but the right people.
I'd like to think that.
And
nice people. I like nice people. Again, as much as I have a show called Decades of Divas, a diva, you know, in general, sometimes can have a funny little definition. There are a lot of divas in this industry that can make or break a production. You know, you can have someone on your in a show that their personalities are just they're selfish. They're maybe it's their insecurity, don't know. I try not to surround myself with a personality like that. There are a lot of pompous people in all walks of life, you know. There are a lot of very conceited people in all walks of life. This industry seems to bring out an array of I'm a star attitude.
Yeah.
Look at me, only me. It's all about me. I do my best not to, you know, cast people with that caliber of personality. I don't do well with narcissists. I just don't. So thank you. I appreciate that. The Bonnie Raitt show.
Which
That is every time we do that show, it just gets you know, obviously every time you do a show it gets stronger because you're more familiar with it. Every time we've done the show, we've upped it, if you will. We always add other songs because Bonnie Raitt has so many incredible songs, and she just has her brand new CD that's out called Diggin' Deep. So we have new songs for this next show, which is January 6th at the Wonder Bar. I believe
I found that to be a curious venue for you.
I am loving it.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. We just did my Disco Connection show there. It was the first time. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we used to do them at the Supper Club.
Right.
And the Supper Club is awesome. You know, all these different venues. There are lots of great venues to go to.
And only right across the street.
And they're right
Literally
across the street.
right
But
across
they
the
have
street.
different, you know, they have different flavors, if you will. The Wonder Bar is more of a dance affiliated.
Yeah,
room.
sure, you got that wide open floor.
It's a wide
as
open
opposed
floor.
to dinner tables,
As
i.e. the supper club.
Exactly. And it just so happened that I was, you know, I love Debbie DeLisa, who manages the Wonder Bar, and we just started talking about something, and you know, she said, "I'd love you to bring your disco show here," and you know, it was like a light bulb went off, and I thought, you know, I have had comments before that not everybody likes to eat and then dance. Now, I'm just talking about this show in particular. Right. There are lots of different shows that people love to eat and dance, you know, and that's great. I'm just talking about Disco Connection. And that one show is such an intense dance show. You know, the downbeat starts, you go straight through. And so we tried it. And it was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, people just came there. We started at 9 o'clock. Right. They went out. They were wet rats. Everybody was soaking wet.
From dancing.
From
Nice.
all they did was dance. No tables.
Right.
Nothing. They drank and they danced. Whether it was water or alcohol, they had the choice. And it was just a really good choice to do that. And it just so happened the same combination, with conversation with Debbie about Bonnie Raitt. And I thought, you know what? This could work. This could actually work. The last time we did Bonnie at the Supper Club, which was great, they had a whole bunch of tables, obviously, right. But then we got complaints that people couldn't dance. And we've upped the Bonnie
they had that
show.
Little dance floor in the corner.
Remember it?
Yes.
In the corner.
Yes.
But people wanted to boogie. And we've started to add a lot more up-tempo Bonnie songs. And, just a perfect example, she's doing a remake of Los Lobos, Shake, Shake, Shake and Shake and Shake, something like that, in her latest compilation, Diggin' Deep. I mean, these are rockin' songs. People want to dance. And so we're going to be at the Wonder Bar. We're going to try it. We're going to see. And why not?
I could see that being a good venue for your Bonnie Raitt show, which I've seen 3 times. Thank you.
And this time's even going to be better. And you'll be there at this one.
I hope so.
Yeah, well, just mark it down. Mark it down.
And it's an amazing show.
It's a really strong show. We have Beth Ann Clayton.
Mm-hmm.
We have Gladys Bryant. Ralph Notaro is my musical director for that one. Joe Belia is on drums.
Jerry Steele.
Oh, Jeremy Steele is unbelievable. Benny Harrison on keyboard. Yeah. And I have a feeling I'm forgetting someone, so forgive me, but I can't remember right now. It's just a very funky, strong show. I mean, who doesn't like Bonnie Raitt?
Well, and you incorporate it with video and facts.
Oh, we have great. Yeah, I mean, I like when I do my shows, except for the disco show. I don't really do that much talking. The disco show. The disco show is get down and dance. That's it. But the Bonnie Raitt show is very informative. She has quite a history, especially with her father, John Hyatt. His whole Broadway background, and so. It's a lot of fun. We've always had great compliments and turnout to Bonnie. And so we're going to do it again. And this time will be even a different show. And you'll notice from this time, did you make it to the last time or did you miss one?
I made it to the first one at McClune's.
Yeah.
And then we broadcast the one from
the
Algonquin.
Oh, my God, that was quite the show.
And then I made it to the most recent one at McClune's. Which was, I guess, around this time.
You know what? I can't remember. We do them. Here's the catch-22 of being in this area. You can't do too much too often because, I mean, you can. There are people that do. I'm just talking about my shows in particular. Right. Every 6 months is pretty much what you can do. Broadway.
If you're going to keep selling them out.
If you're going to keep selling them out. Because you want to sell. I'm trying. I'm learning. About that. I'm learning about that. The next, big excitement again, besides Bonnie happening again, is what's happened with Decades of Divas. And that has taken such a transformation. And that show in particular, it's interesting because that originated as my show called Songbird.
So I was going to just...
Yeah, it was the Songbird. And I didn't realize... the Songbird show was kind of like the best of Lisa Sherman, if you will. And with that in mind, because I do like having different types of genres and different types of music styles, I wanted to do a little bit of everything that I know how to do. So we had the Broadway, country, R&B, rock, soul, blues, rock. I said rock. And put a show with all that together. And it was at that time that I met Frankie. And when I told him about, I had just done the show at the Basie, my Songbird show. And the Basie said they loved it. They wanted to do it again. They'd give me another chance to do it in another year, because they're always a year in advance. Right. But they said, you've got to have a different theme, a different title, because no one knows what Songbird is. And you're really not at a place yet in your career that Songbird, Lisa Sherman, it didn't make any real sense. I mean, people know me around here, but we're trying to bring in a bigger house. I mean, that's a big theater. Right. We're trying to bring in outside people. So I came up with Decades of Divas because I started realizing what is the common thread with my Songbird show. And it's the top songs from these women. Mm-hmm. They were all women. That was the thread. And the different time span of when they did their thing. And Decades of Divas.
You surrounded yourself with some
oh my God,
phenomenal female voices.
Yeah, we have Leon Holmes, and we have Erin Schul, we have Reagan and myself. And that was just an amazing, production. And as time,
the trailer you put out.
Oh, the trailer. Yeah, in fact, any of this information
can be found where? Yeah.
Well, on my website, which is www.lisa-sherman.com, and just click on my concerts. You'll see what's coming up. But there's also on my website, you'll see a little video. And if you click on the video, you'll see an excerpt from one of my Songbird shows. However, if you go on my concert page, there's a bunch of URLs that you can click on, and you'll see different shows. You'll see the Bonnie Show, the Disco Show. Some of them are a few years old, but we're always updating them. Mm-hmm. The Broadway and Beyond that happened this past Friday, we had that filmed, so we're making a 1-minute EPK for that.
Oh,
so
good.
that'll be on pretty soon. We just got things going on. But Decades of Divas, it's just recently been picked up by the producers of Jersey Boys. So we're really very excited. We're going to be changing the cast around because we're going to be touring it. Right. Different things are happening. We're going to be having different parts of Decades of Divas. Example, Decades of Country Divas, Decades of Rock Divas, Decades of R&B Divas. And, the idea has such a huge ability to grow. So yeah, it's going to be quite exciting. So we're kind of putting all those contracts together now. We're thinking coming next fall, we should start production on that. It takes that long, it's a big production.
Well, let me get to our last sponsor
Absolutely.
Here, which is our friend Mario Di Bartolo. Right here, established in 1987, Monmouth Music is located in the center of historic Red Bank, New Jersey. For 30 years, Monmouth Music has served the local and traveling musician with brand name instruments and accessories at everyday low prices. Monmouth Music also welcomes aspiring musicians of all levels with a broad selection of affordable instruments, including school orchestra instruments, for both sale and rental. Monmouth Music provides student lessons on all levels of experience provided by our long-tenured music teaching staff. In addition to providing brand-name instruments and complete lesson plans, Monmouth Music is home to Bob Pinto's Guitar Hospital, specializing in string instrument repairs. Mm-hmm. There's also an in-house professional amplifier repair service by BP Electronics. Monmouth Music is owner-operated, which ensures you will get professional and personal service every day. Be disappointed.
Ever.
See? Whatever Mario's you need. Guarantee.
Whatever
not
you
be
need.
Disappointed.
Whatever you need, you get it here.
Beautiful.
It's really very simple. Danish.
Pastries.
Good shows.
Yeah, that's right.
No clothes.
No clothes.
Cheers to that, my friend.
They probably got to hear. Cheers to that.
They
probably had the visual back 45 minutes ago. Didn't tell us.
Let your imagination wander.
There you go. That's
Please,
right.
let it wander. Let it wander.
That's right.
So,
does this skin make me look fat?
Does this skin make me look fat? I will say, on Friday when we did our debut for Broadway and Beyond, obviously it was the night after Thanksgiving, right. And there we are wearing these, tight, classy type gowns. It should be outlawed that anyone has to wear spandex the night after Thanksgiving. I mean, it wasn't even 24 hours. Things hadn't even gone down yet. Just sitting there. So we made jokes about it. What are you going to do? It was just a great night. And what's even better is that, like before a show, obviously,
Right.
It's probably smart not to fulfill yourself with too much food because digestion takes energy. It can offer issues with mucus, and God forbid you have any problems with digestion. Probably going on stage with a full stomach will lead to an embarrassing moment. And I do have one more embarrassing moment. I'm going to tell you.
Go
about
right
that.
ahead.
I will. I mean, we're naked, so why not?
Hey,
Anyway.
how much more embarrassed can I get?
Oh, please. So nobody in the cast ate. Like we had to be at sound check at like 4:00 on Friday. And so we didn't eat. Everyone was like hungry. We did our show. And then you have to pack down. And by the time you get home, it was like, 2 a.m. Let me tell you how good that food was to go home to, all those leftovers. But eating now a big old tom turkey, taters, all the vegetables like 2, 3 a.m, I suffered on Saturday, whatever it was. Oh my God. But it's delicious, and there's still stuff home, plus and now I have pastries on top of it.
See?
You see? So naked right now is good because my clothes don't fit. Speaking of clothes, I have a wonderful embarrassing moment. We were talking about embarrassing stage moments. Okay. Nothing could have topped this. And if Bob Berger is listening to this and John Rajavi, they will be laughing. I was doing at the Supper Club a show with Bob. I believe it was I think it was the Fleetwood Mac show. Could have been.
Okay.
Could have been. And so I had these like really tight pants on. Not trying, like when we do these shows, we're not trying to imitate Fleetwood Mac per se. We're just celebrating their music. It's us celebrating their music as us,
Right.
And I had these like really tight pants on. And so I don't know why this happened. It had never happened before. And it was like right after intermission. So we still had a whole set to go. I bent over to pick up my tambourine, which had fallen off my stand. I kid you not. Rip right down the crack on the back of my pants.
Oh, no way.
Now, I did have the thong on, okay? I know I was saying I like watching, making pretend that casting people have thongs on. Maybe a size too short, but like I had one on. Well, I think it was Jerry Haskell. Oh my God, am I saying his name wrong? Can't remember. Not Jerry Haskell. That's Leave It to Beaver. I can't think. Jerry.
Oh my.
I'll think of it very shortly. But anyway, incredible drummer. Love him to death. And he was in back of me, and all I did was just turn around. He was dying. He was just dying. Long story short, I wasn't able to move around the stage. Even when I had to finish the song and like walk through McClune's, everyone, comes up to you when the show's over. I had to take my tambourine things, put it behind me. Bob Berger was relentless. There I am outside. Frankie, at this point, it just split all the way up. He tried, it was in the summer, so I had no coat. I had nothing. And we're standing outside. I am so embarrassed. And Bob and I just said his name, guitarist, incredible. John Rajavi.
Oh, John, yeah.
They thought that they would have fun thinking of every song possible that would connect with my situation. Moon Over Miami. I know there were a lot more. Right now I can't think of them.
Moon Dance.
Moon Dance, that came out. And they sang it to me as I was just trying to save any kind of professional face. By now, everybody knew that I had a crack right up my pants. Everything was there. Cheeks were out. And so at this point,
just let it go.
I let it go. And I did my stroll up Ocean Avenue to go to the parking lot across the street from the Wonder Bar. And I just am very thankful that no one took photos, because at this point the pants just frayed. My butt cheeks were there. And all I can tell you, that is another one of my most embarrassing moments on stage. So now I have fallen off a stage. My pants have split on stage.
You're shredded.
I've shredded. Yep. I'll think of other ones.
Oh gosh. Well, out of all your years, because we're gonna be we got a few minutes left here. Only about 5 minutes left, believe it or not.
Yeah, we have lots to talk about always.
What out of your whole career, Broadway, now you're doing your own thing. Did you have a favorite show that you were in on Broadway?
Yeah.
As well as perhaps what's been your own favorite production so far?
My favorite production was probably my first, which was West Side Story. And playing the part of Anita was incredible. Just incredible. And, being able to work with the people, the choreographers. I mean, at that point, it was Chita Rivera. I mean, these were the
wow.
greats.
Yeah.
This was like a long, long time ago. And the things that I learned from that show, I was just so young. And you're like a sponge then. You just take it all in. I would say that was probably my favorite. I loved Little Shop of Horrors. I played Audra in that. That was fun.
Did you?
That was so much fun.
Feed me,
Feed
Seymour.
me, Seymour. Yeah, that was in the show on Friday night. We
Levi
did Seymour.
Stubbs. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I sang Suddenly Seymour. It's some of my. I have that other side. You were talking about different things that I've done. I know time is running out right now, but I have that other side, the exercise kinesiology side, where after like 11 to 12 years being on the road and being in the theater, I wanted to go back and finish my education. And so I did, because remember, I left school to be on Broadway.
Right.
And so I wanted to finish my degree. I got very involved with exercise kinesiology, which was all in connection with my dance background and stuff. And my last show was called Wanted Dead or Alive. It's called The Late Sam Gray. And that was an off-Broadway show. And that was like 1988. And it was at that time I just completely burned out and went to a completely different switch and started going back. I wanted to go back to school and finish my degree. And, long story short, again, I ended up finishing my degree in my mid-40s, And when I met my ex-husband, my husband at the time, he lived in New Zealand, and I picked up my life. In a day, pretty much in like a day. We were engaged in 5 days and 3 hours. I picked up my entire life and moved to the other side of the world. And I took all my theatrics, all my theatrical background, all my presentation backgrounds and everything, and then created a whole nother life over there as a fitness presenter.
Television show.
I had my own
there?
TV show. Yeah,
Can
absolutely.
that be found on YouTube or anything?
You know what? A lot of people have asked me that. It was called the Dow Power Hour. I gave up all my copyright when I moved there. Okay. I've got all the footage and episodes, but I can't find them. They haven't been able to find them. I am going back there and doing a presentation in August, actually.
Oh, wow.
It's been 21 years. I'm sure somewhere, somehow, it was Paul Meyer Productions. It was Prestige Marketing Productions. That's what it was, over there. Good luck if you can find them. I do have some footage. If you want to see some things, you can just get in touch with me. My email is vocalfit46@verizon.net. Feel free to get in touch with me.
And your website again?
My website is www.lisa-sherman.com. If you don't add that hyphen, you're going to find a different Lisa Sherman, and she owes a lot of tickets. She's been a bad girl, and I've had quite a few problems when people have looked for me and they found this other Lisa Sherman.
And I can tell you one thing for sure: she's never sat here at this table naked.
Not naked.
No, not like us.
Not naked. But anyway, so I'm still teaching now. I can't remember what your original question was, but it was about
I don't even know if
what
I had
my
one.
favorite.
Your favorite thing.
What is my favorite? I have lots of favorites. I loved my theatrical life. I loved becoming someone over in New Zealand where I knew no one. I had no support whatsoever.
About being out of your comfort zone.
I was out of my comfort zone. One of the best
moves you ever made?
Moves I ever made. It taught me so much, and I did finish my degree. I did move forward, and I've brought all those all those experiences back here. And so now I'm teaching my bar classes, my body sculpting classes. I'm at Workout World. I do my private consultations. I have degrees in kinesiotherapy. You know, I've always told all my students, no one can ever take education away. You know, I can do show after show, but shows close, the curtains come down, but nobody can take your education away. So, you know, never give up your day job, kids. You know,
right?
Never.
Well, and unfortunately, our time is up. They're throwing everything at me except their clothes, which are next to them. Like
I'm just
ours.
going to walk down the street naked.
I don't
I'm going to
blame
go home
you. Well,
naked.
apparently you've done this coming.
Yes, I have.
Lisa, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me,
Thank
Danny.
you for
Thanks,
for-
everybody.
Thank you for your patience with me and
My
with the
pleasure.
technical difficulties and.
It's my
this
pleasure.
evening.
See how fast this went?
I know it
There's
always
always
does.
something good to talk
I
about.
could do I could do an 8-hour show with you. It probably still wouldn't be long
Awesome.
enough.
Let's do it.
Why not?
Half
right?
naked and half with clothes.
There you go.
We can
Why
do a
not?
fashion show
Hey.
with, as long as we have the pastries.
We'll have the pastries. There you go. All right, Nash, we good?
We're good.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for the audio. Excuse me, the audio portion of the program. Again, I apologize for the lack of video. However,
Thank God it wasn't.
If you turn this off because it's not a video, you're going to really miss a great lady who just told a great story. So my guest tonight was Lisa Sherman here on One More with Danny Coleman. Next week is Danny Rongo. I mistakenly said that at an earlier date, but next week is Danny Rongo, fine musician and Veterans Charities supporter. So he'll be here next week. Lisa, thank you.
Love you, baby. We'll
Oh, I
talk
love
to you
you
soon.
too, honey.
Hope
Thank
to
you
see
so
everyone January 6th, the Wonder Bar, Bonnie Raitt, Best of Bonnie Raitt.
Best of Bonnie Raitt,
got
Lisa
it.
Sherman.
Good night,
Until
everybody.
next week, have one more of everything. Bye.
Bye.